Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to St. Bart's. We are in the JustFlight Piper Warrior, which for some reason is not showing my tail number. I don't know why that is, but I don't know why a lot of things happen in life. I'm testing out. I'm going back to DX11 right now to see how this works because the pauses are back in DX12, so I figured I'm gonna have a look here and see what's going on. Okay, so let's get started here. Rotating beacon on. Mixture is rich. Carb heat is cold. Master switches on. Avionics master switches on. Fuel pumps are on. I was a little upset yesterday when I got out of the airplane because it was not performing well. The simulator wasn't, and so I left a whole bunch of switches on, and I have state saving enabled, which means the plane opens the way I left it, which was in a fluster. All right, so everything's good to go. Fuel is on. Make sure there's nobody out here to maim or decapitate. Engage the starter. Good start. Throttle to 1200 RPM. Oil pressure is good. Let's turn the fuel pump off. Fuel pressure is just fine. So there's that. Let's turn the nav and strobe lights on. The radio is correctly set to 122.8. Let's reset my head position here. One more time. Alright, mixture lean for taxi. Fuel pump is off. Alright, let's release the parking brake. Get ourselves turned around here. Let's test the brakes. Definitely want to test the brakes here before you get anywhere near the runway because the runway is downhill. So okay, let's come to a stop. Let's engage the parking brake. Flight control check. Up on that side, down on that side, up on that side, down on that side. Flaps. All the way down on that side, all the way down on that side. All the way up on that side, all the way up on that side. Elevator is working properly. Alright, let's get rid of this. Okay, fuel pump on, mixture rich, throttle to 2000 RPM. Alright, left magneto. Good drop, back to both. Right magneto. Good drop, back to both. Carb heat. Good drop, back in. Let's turn the fuel pump off. Fuel pressure is good. Suction is good on the gyros. Back to 1200. Well, no, I'm not going to lean the mixture. Let's go. Throttle idle check. Throttle idle check is good. You want the engine to run smoothly at idle. When it runs smoothly at idle, that's when you know it is properly warmed up. Alright, fuel pump on, mixture is rich, carb heat is cold, primers in and locked. Let's check the trim. Trim should be right about neutral. Alright, 122.8, we are squawking 7,000. Okay, let's get going. I haven't heard any radio chatter, St. Bart's traffic, Cherokee 56125, taking runway 10 for departure to the north. St. Bart's. I'm going to put in 2 notches of flaps. Let's get ourselves out on the runway. And I didn't release the parking brake. Gosh, I've been so good. Right up until there. Just goes to show you can never have a perfect flight. Alright, heading indicator checks with the runway number, apply the brakes, takeoff power is set, 2350 is good, oil pressure is good, release the brakes, airspeed is alive, and look at that, just flies itself right off the ground. Positive rate of climb to walk up that first notch of flaps. Let's walk up the second notch of flaps. And we'll make our left turn out here. To a heading of 060. Push the nose down here a little bit. St. Bart's traffic, Cherokee 56125, left crosswind departure off runway 10, departing to the north, Anguilla. St. Bart's. Gosh, clear morning today. Let's see that beautiful sight. I always love that view. Push the nose down a little bit, trim for cruise climb here. 1,000 feet AGL, let's turn the fuel pump off, check the fuel pressure is good. There's somebody going good. To St. Bart's. Kind of to me like they were maybe a little bit low. Beautiful morning. So the reason I have gone back to DX11 DX12 was awesome in the first iteration of beta. I'll stop at 2500 here. 50 feet below your cruise altitude. Push the nose over. Pull the power back to get a noticeable change in sound, and add a gross trim application. The reason I went back to DX11, DX12 was great when in the first iteration of the beta. For I guess version sim update 10. I mean, it was just completely smooth, not a single stutter in DX12, and then they updated it again, and the stutters came back. So, St. Martin traffic, Cherokee 56125 in the VFR corridor between St. Bart's and Grand Cass, northbound at 2500 St. Martin. And so after being frustrated for a little bit, I decided I would just go back and try the X11 and see how it works. I haven't used the X11 in a couple weeks now. the X12 was just, and I think that is an indication of what's to come with the X12. I think it will eventually be everything we were hoping for and more. The reason why I'm stopping at 2500 is because 2600 is the ceiling of the VFR corridor between St. Bart's and Grand Cass. So beautiful morning. Willa off there in the distance as well. Let's go fuel pump on, switch fuel tanks here. And turn the fuel pump off. Check the fuel pressure. Fuel pressure is good. Grand Cass traffic, Cherokee 56125, 10 miles to the south, inbound runway 12, Grand Cass. So, we're going to follow that cargo ship right there. It looks like a cargo ship. This is really pretty cool because I usually don't do much morning flying, and I wouldn't be doing morning flying today, save for the fact that I misread an update on the black box simulation Islander yesterday and thought that that update was coming today. And I wanted to get my hands on that update as soon as humanly possible. And so I fired up the sim this morning, fired up the computer, and reread what I thought I had read, and I read it wrong. So the update is coming in the next couple of weeks. So I decided, given the fact that I was all jazzed to go flying, that I would go flying. And I really have to say that this JustFlight Piper Warrior has really kind of reinforced my love of flying single-engine general aviation planes in Microsoft Flight Simulator. I know it's not fast. I know it's not fancy. But it reinforces good habits with me because I fly a Cherokee 180. And it's just a lot of fun to fly. Keep a good eye on that runway. Make sure there's nothing departing. I probably should have called. I want to do kind of a longer straight in final here, which is one of the reasons why I'm not too worried about the fact that I'm kind of high right now. This is Juliana right off the wingtip there. Trying to do a demonstration yesterday of this trying to put to use some information I found on a YouTube video yesterday that I thought was really great about landings. And you guys will see when you get some update 10. The turbulence is much different. Alright, fuel pump sound mixture is rich. There's notch of flaps. The nose down. Grandcast traffic, Cherokee 56125, left downwind runway 12 Grandcast. So my thinking that perhaps DX11 wouldn't have any pauses has clearly been debunked. Grandcast traffic, Cherokee 56125, 3 mile left base, runway 12, Grandcast. Alright, fuel pump is on, mixture is rich. I'm just going to let this airplane settle. That nose is going to come down a little bit. Touch more power. Final looks clear. Grandcast traffic, Cherokee 56125, turning a 2 mile final for runway 12, Grandcast. See, this is the thing, is that there's just really no reason over water why that airplane would drop like that. There just isn't. Do my darndest to stay on glide slope, but it's just really hard. I mean, it's just very, very challenging. Very, very challenging. Come on. And see, the airplane just stops descending at some point. It just stops and goes straight ahead like a freaking train. And then you... it starts doing this. That I mean, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And that was an excellent landing. That was a really good landing. That was hard work. And of course, because it's a Microsoft Flight Simulator, there is a truck in the middle of the taxiway. Grandcast traffic, Cherokee 56125 is sitting in the middle of the runway waiting for a truck to get out of the taxiway. Grandcast. Alright, well, clearly it's not going to move. So, Grandcast traffic, Cherokee 56125, back taxiing runway 12 for taxiway Alpha, Grandcast. So, I mean, I think there's probably slightly less in terms of stutters and pauses. Grandcast traffic, Cherokee 56125, clear the runway. Alright, fuel pump off. The fuel pump didn't turn off. Fuel pump's not doing anything. Why is it not doing anything? Turn off, please. Thank you. Thank you. Alright, let's put the flaps up. Mixture is not... Oh. You know, one of these days I'm gonna learn. Taxi light on. Pauses are better. That is just so annoying. Pauses are better. You know, I think that the turbulence needed to be increased for sure. I have gone back and forth, but I really have to say that they've overdone it. Because honestly, like, I have a pilot's license. Like, I'm an actual pilot, a real live pilot, and it is so difficult to wrestle this plane onto the ground. I mean, that landing turned out really, really well. Mixture idle cutoff throttle is idle. Magneto's avionics master switch off. Magneto's off. Lights off. Master and battery switches off. That was a fight to get that airplane on the ground. I mean, that was a fight. I wound up coming over the threshold basically at the right altitude on glide slope and good airspeed. But it took every bit of skill I have to do that. I mean, I think that if you, and I'm not saying that I'm not saying that your average sim pilot isn't a good pilot or isn't good at, flying the simulator, but I think if this is released like this, I think people are going to have a real challenge landing. So we'll see how it goes, but I think I'm going to go back to DX12. This was just a quick test, and we'll see.